Everyone, Glenn Sanford here, founder of eXp Realty and also the host of this expansion podcast. And I'm really excited today to talk to Holly Gerchen. She's an ICON agent out of St. Louis, Missouri. Uh, Welcome, Holly.
Thank you, Glenn. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for jumping in. Now you started selling real estate. I think you mentioned in Hawaii, and you've been doing this for a couple of years. But maybe what's your background? How did you get started in real estate?
When I was younger, my mom and I used to go look at houses all the time. As a matter of fact, we lived in Palm Desert, California, and she really wanted to live in La Quinta. And we would go look at homes, and if a door or window was open, we would go in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they were vacant homes, by the way. They were new builds. But yeah, that was my introduction to real estate, was breaking into homes. But when I moved to Hawaii, when I was 24 years old, I actually moved there to open a retail shop for my mom. And a year into it, the Gulf War broke out, the Japanese stock market crashed, our store was not doing well. And I made the incredibly intelligent decision to go into real estate. However, I was a much stronger type A than I am even now. And I thought, I'll succeed, I'll be fine. And no one was allowed to say anything negative in front of me about the economy or anything. And I was the number one agent in my office that year, my first year in real estate. And, basically, I just went out and joined every group I could. I was too broke to not chase after clients. I had a client walk in who was a Ritz Carlton, one of the Ritz Carlton managers, walked into my office but walked out. It was on a Saturday, and I ran after him and I said, "Are you are you looking for a house?" And he told me, "Yeah, he was, but he was potentially working with someone else." I said, "That's okay. Well, you want to work with me? We're going to work together." There was no such thing as buyers agencies then. And actually, we became great friends. And I sold him a house that had a cute little home off of it that I ended up renting from him. But that was my start. I just went after the business, and I was just too ignorant to know better. I just pursued it and believed in myself and that I would succeed. And within 4 years, I was one of the top 14 agents on the island. Not saying much. The market had crashed. So, it wasn't like I was making tons of money, but I was making more money than most agents at the time.
Okay.
So that's
Well, congratulations on that early success. And now, how long were you in Hawaii selling real estate?
7 years, almost 8 years. And then I came back to the mainland, came back to California, which is where I was from.
Hmm.
Didn't get back into real estate right away. I was a little, burned out. It had been a really, really tough market on the islands with the Gulf War and the Japanese stock market crashing. And when I moved to St. Louis here, that's when I got back into real estate. I started out rehabbing houses. I felt like I just wanted to go into rehabbing. And I did that for 5 years. And then the market crashed in 2008. And I started working for clients doing renovations, kitchens, bathrooms, windows, all, anything that I could get my hands on. And then I got my license again in 2012, my brokers in 2014. And yeah, I've been full time ever since. And then moved over to
Okay.
EXP in 2017.
Okay. Awesome. Now, where were you at before EXP?
I was at a small local brokerage, Red Key Realty. They were a group of Keller Williams agents that had left and created their own brokerage, and I was very happy. It was a lovely brokerage.
Hmm.
I wasn't looking, but EXP found me.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it does have a tendency to find people.
Yeah.
So, now, what was it? What was it that you saw in EXP that got your attention? Obviously, somebody reached out to you, and
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
what was it that?
A good friend of mine from California, he and his wife are very, very successful brokers in the East Bay of San Francisco. And we had done some direct marketing stuff together when the market was not so great, right? And so he called me to catch up. And we were joking about, I'll never do direct marketing again. And he said, however, I moved my license over to EXP Realty. I'm like, I've never heard of EXP Realty. He said, oh, I know you're really happy where you are, but would you look? And I'm very open. I'll always look. And I said, yeah, of course, send it over. I'll take a look at it. And for me, I had been introduced to the direct marketing model, when I was in my 20s, and I had been just fascinated by it. And I remember not succeeding wildly in it and wishing that there was a traditional type of business that would do this, and never really thought about real estate as one of those businesses that could incorporate the affiliate program where you can share with others and and be treated like an owner. So when I saw that, I knew I was moving. I was like, well, that's a done deal, because my concern with real estate had always been, I'm not creating retirement. Every year I'm running as hard as I can, and yet I'm spending all that money, on living, on life and children and college education and things that, were important and necessary. It just never felt like there was enough. And so that model was very attractive to me, and the stock was, I was so excited about the stock because I didn't have any investments. And I think that's true for, quite a few realtors who are just starting out, that, and then, they get going. I'm a single woman. So I just hadn't accrued a bunch of stock. And so those two things were very, very exciting to me. And that's what, pushed me to move over to EXP. And I've been so happy about that decision. So
Oh, awesome, awesome. Well, obviously, since uh, what you joined in 2017?
17. Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah, well, our
and
stock was $3.50, something like that, I think.
okay, yeah, and that was probably pre-split too, so it'd be like
It was, and I was an icon the year we split, so that was phenomenal. That was my
oh,
first year
that's
running, actually, yeah.
yeah. So what does that icon award translate into today in today's stock value? Have you done the math on
Uh,
it?
let's see, the full 16,000, and we're at about, what, $23?
Yeah,
Yeah,
something like that.
like
So,
that,
and
so
it was about a dollar, a couple dollars back then.
oh, yeah, yeah, no, it was a couple dollars, right? And then it went up to
Yeah,
$160 and split. So I
right.
think actually that when, you guys bought my Icon stock, I wanna say it was $16 at the time, and it went up to $160, and then it split. So yeah, that was phenomenal. It
Okay.
was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that, Glenn.
Well, no, you're welcome. No, it was,
Yeah.
it's an interesting. I had a conversation with someone yesterday. It was actually a gentleman in Australia who were talking about the reason why EXP, why created it, and it was because fundamentally, and you were a business owner. I mean, that was what you did, going over to Hawaii. But the reason why you start a business is so that eventually it can actually build, pay residuals and kind of provide some sort of lifestyle benefits. So you're not always having to chase the next thing.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
and so when I got into real estate, I was sold on the idea that I had a real estate business, but I quickly discovered that no, there was a business that had me, and
Correct.
that it's a totally different paradigm, and so how do you get out of this sort of rat race or hamster wheel, whatever you want to call it, of not really having a business, but it's a great paying career. I mean, so nothing wrong with the career itself,
Absolutely. Right.
but if you get hit by a bus and you're the primary breadwinner in your home, then it can be, quite challenging for those you care about. And that's where that was the big motivator for me, was not so much in the short term. If something happened to me and I was by myself and whatever, it's like not. But if I'm responsible for helping more people in the world, then I have an obligation to make sure that if something happens to me, it doesn't screw everybody else up.
Right. That's absolutely right. And something where, and leaving a legacy, being able to have this be something that, if something does happen to me, there's, my son will get his real estate license, and there's, ongoing income for him. and an
Yep.
opportunity to grow my business if he were to choose to. So yeah, yeah.
So now you're obviously three-time icon with EXP. Uh, what are you? It sounds like at least in the early stages of your business, there's a lot of hustle to go and get the deals that you
100%,
got.
100%.
How is your business different today than it was, say, back then? How do you lead generate? How do you manage your business?
Well, so it's actually so much easier today than it was in the past. I mean, I have what's called an unofficial team, and so I buy leads. That most of those leads go to 5 agents that are on my that I've brought over to EXP Realty, but they are their own agents. A couple of them are newer, a couple of them aren't. And I buy leads, they get leads. I have a virtual assistant who calls those leads, books appointments for us. And my goal is to make sure that everyone is either capping or icon on their way to icon. So, when I first started with EXP, I was selling 25 houses a year, something along those lines. I was doing around 6 million. Nothing phenomenal. Full-time income, but nothing to
Mhm.
write home about. And there was something about moving over to EXP where even before I hit Icon, my business was growing every year by around $1 million a year. When I moved over to EXP, I looked at Icon. I thought, that's not me. I'm not going to hit that. And the first year I missed it by 2. And then the second year I missed it by 1, which was just really so incredibly irritating. Like, how in the world? And it was because I wasn't really paying attention because I hadn't set that goal, right? I didn't see myself as an icon. Well, that third year, I got very good at Op City, now Realtor.com, and I closed 22 deals with them in a year. I had a 25% closing ratio. They actually called me and said, "What are you doing?" Because the average agent is a 3% closing ratio. We need to know what you're doing. I said, "Well, if you want to pay me and send me around the country, I'm happy to share my script and how I do this. Just let me know." But and then I was an icon ever since. And I say, once you know how, you can do it every year if you choose to. And my sales went up to 50 homes a year, and that was during this market, which has been a little bit, one buyer's like 10 buyers if you're trying to get them into a home with 20, 30 offers that we were having up through last year. It's a little more time consuming, a little more exhausting. And I was so grateful for the income, for the opportunity. My clients referred to me like crazy. That was where most of my business came from. And that was at the time where I started going, how can I help these other agents who haven't established this client base that's constantly referring? And that was when I started, placing Facebook ads and hiring a virtual assistant who could, handle those leads, because I just didn't have time to, work those leads and then give them to them. So that's what we've been doing, and it's been working out really well.
Awesome. So a good portion of your business is, it sounds like you've got a good portion that's repeat referral and a good portion that's internet inbound.
Yes. So repeat referral. I also work with a lot of investors. So, I may do 3 or 4 or 5 deals with one investor a year. And then my residential clients who are always referring to me. So really grateful for that. But the Facebook leads have become more and more, and they've been really helpful for everybody since the interest rates have climbed up. Where it seems like there's been a little pullback on our everyday buyer. The Facebook leads are helping us find new buyers, new sellers, and are able to help them much more now.
Awesome. Now, what's your CRM? Did you mention KV Core, or what are you using
Yeah, I'm
for
using KV
CRM?
Core. Yeah, I'm using KV Core, and I've been very happy with it. I did get the team KV Core so we could run all the agents through it. And it's been phenomenal. I in the beginning really wasn't utilizing KV Core. I'm a hustler, but the tech end of things for me, it's not that I'm horrible at it. I just don't have necessarily desire patience to learn everything I want to learn. So I want to hire somebody who will do that for me.
Right.
So yeah, but KV Core has been fantastic, and that's what we're using. That's what my VA's utilizing, and it works fantastic. And the fact that that's a part of EXP, that we get that $400 a month program, uh, with our monthly $85 fee that we pay for SkySlope, KV Core, all the marketing material, EXP World, it's a no brainer. It's so generous. So yeah.
Oh, no, thank you. Yeah, no, it's yeah, the team there at Inside Real Estate has been great to work with, and they're continuing to innovate, and but definitely ping me in the background, since it sounds like you use it, if there's stuff that they should be doing that you not seeing there, so
Great.
we
Oh, I
can
will.
continue to.
Yeah. Okay, good. Good. Thank you.
Um, so, if there was one piece of advice that you could give to an EXP Realty agent, what would it be?
Oh, it would be to plug in. Agents who come on to EXP and maybe they were recruited by someone they don't know, or they don't have a mentor and they feel alone. I feel so bad for them, because there's no reason to feel that way. With EXP World, the fact that we have like 80 classes a week to plug into the workplace, where literally I've gone in to water cooler, and I've said, "Hey guys, does anybody know X, Y, or Z?" And I'll get 10 answers within 5 minutes. And if I were to tag you, you'll answer me. So that's phenomenal that we have those tools right there. Also, within each state, we've got amazing brokers. The brokers here in St. Louis, well, covering Missouri and Kansas, I can't say enough about Chris Cribb and oh goodness, my goodness, where she's my favorite, Leah Green. They are two of the best brokers and so available. I love going into the world and going into the broker room and transporting to a table, and they're sitting across from me. In the old days at my old brokerage, which I consider lovely place, but so antiquated. I mean, I would sit and wait for my broker. I'd be like at a computer and be kind of like checking his room. Is he available yet? Or if I text him or left him a message, getting a call back was hell. And and then he'd go off to lunch. I'd be sitting there waiting for him. So I literally go into the world, get my answer faster than my coffee is ready. So to me, the tools we have, the support we have is second to none. And agents just need to plug in. If they don't have someone who brought them over and they have someone helping them with that, there are so many of us, throughout the world, not just in their neck of the woods, but anywhere. And especially new agents, there's all these groups on the workplace for new agents. And so my new agents, I'm like, I'm here for you, but plug in, absolutely plug in. You won't always be able to get a hold of me right away, because, I'm busy too. So if you have something that's super urgent, gosh, go to our brokers, go to the workplace, ask questions, plug into the new groups. So that's what I
Uh,
would recommend.
have you, by the way, have you checked out the Luna AI bot on Workplace?
No, I've just heard about it and I haven't yet. And I'm excited about that, because AI is obviously, huge, and it's on my list to get good at, because I'm not yet.
Yeah,
So the
it's
AI.
really an interesting add-on to everything that you just said, because we've been training up Luna to answer a lot of the standard questions that agents ask. Where do I do this, or how do I get started, or and just a bunch of that stuff. And
That's
it's
right.
pretty amazing what these new AI bots can do. And we've been training it. We've got Seth Siegler and a team has been just watching all the questions come in and getting it trained more and more and more. So eventually, you can still post to water cooler, but eventually you can ask Luna, and it will like spit out immediately a hopefully relevant response to
Yeah.
what you just asked.
That's amazing. AI is phenomenal. It really changes the game in a big way. So
for
yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Well, Holly, this has been great getting to know you a little bit better as well during this podcast. Uh, how would an agent, if they wanted to reach out to you and ask you a question, or is there someplace that you're more visible or available? Is it workplace? Is it Instagram? Is it?
Yeah, all of those. Facebook, I've got a personal page as well as Holly Gerchen group page. That's a great place to reach out to me. You can reach out to me via text, phone number. I'm happy to put that out, or you guys can post it here. Uh, I get calls. I get a lot of referrals through EXP, which is another real big plus. But I love all the agents that I get to work with at EXP all over the country. And if there's anyone I can help, I'm more than happy to. They can always call me, reach out to me, or find me on Instagram or Facebook.
Awesome. Well,
LinkedIn
Holly,
is
thanks again for jumping on, and super excited for everyone to be listening to this. So thanks for being part of the Expansion Podcast and
Thanks,
EXP.
Glenn. Appreciate everything.
Thank you.
Bye.